More music.
Better mental health.
Only on IPL Radio.
That's right. You're listening to IPL Radio, and it's Mish on Good Vibrations this afternoon.
And I'm Mo.
Yes, co-host is Mo today, learning how to do learning a little bit about interviewing, get some tips. And I've got the wonderful Paul Turley in the building with me. Hello, Paul. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks so much, Mish. Mo, thanks for having me, guys.
You're very,
No
very
worries.
welcome. I'm just going to get you to put the mic a little bit more in front of you. That's it. Yeah, more in front of your mouth. There you go. I don't want anyone. It's the beard, yeah. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks.
Tell us a little bit about now. You're here to talk about mental health. You've had struggles in your past yourself.
I have, to a degree. It was more from some indiscretions and some silly choices we often make as younger ones in the teens and 20s.
Yeah.
We all make silly choices in our life, especially when we're young.
That's right.
We do, but hopefully we don't have to pay for them for the rest of our life.
Exactly.
Learn from those problems and better ourselves and help others do the same.
Yeah, that's really good. So, and then you're associated with Black Dog on a Lead. Tell us more about that, because we have had Matt Wilson in before talking about the Black Dog on a Lead. And I love, as I've spoken to you before, I'm actually passionate about Black Dog. I'm a Black Dog rider, I'm a motorbike rider, and I'm passionate about mental health awareness. So tell us a little bit more about Black Dog on a Lead.
So Black Dog on a Lead is a charity started in 2014 in Fremantle, and it's basically its main motto is about talking openly about mental health, depression, and suicide, and having those conversations and relieving the stigma from that.
Brilliant.
So encouraging people to talk openly.
Absolutely brilliant.
And so basically I am doing a big event in New Zealand. I do a lot of endurance events. I was raising money for the Black Dog on a Lead and thought, well, I better introduce myself to the charity. And so Matt and Massimo, who head up the charity, basically reached out to me. We met up, we had a conversation, and from there, that was about 4 months ago.
Oh, okay.
It's only been the last 4 months.
Right.
And in that last 4 months, they were good enough to sort of bring me in as a little bit of a spokesperson for the charity.
Awesome.
And really start to build some momentum and get behind this great cause.
You're doing something at the moment for yourself. You're doing a challenge for yourself, I noticed. What's that? You're doing like a bike, swim.
So that is
what
the
is
event.
that?
So that's the Coast to Coast in New Zealand.
Wow.
So it's only 5 months away now. So it's been running for about 40 years. It's on the South Island, runs from the west coast to the east coast. It's a combination of cycling, running, and kayaking.
Yeah.
It's been running for a long time, but it's something I've had my eye on for a few years.
So you're training for that, or always been training for that?
I always try to keep some sort of decent level of fitness, but I'm specifically starting to gear up my training for that now.
Yeah, wow, that looks really interesting, because I just quickly noticed on your page recently about that, and I thought, wow, that's a huge challenge.
Yeah,
it's a huge challenge.
I guess things like that, for me, I find that they really assist with me in day-to-day life. It helps me to be a better father, a better partner, a better friend.
And I've heard lately a lot of people talking about fitness is so good when it comes to mental health. So I've started going to the gym recently, and after being to the gym, like I haven't been in the gym for 40 odd years, but going into the gym made me feel, for one thing, it makes you feel like you're in the moment for a start. You're in that moment, which is what we all need, because otherwise I'd be thinking about what I did yesterday or what's happening tomorrow. So first of all, it gives you in that moment. It also gives you, the endorphins that you get out of it. It really does make you feel good. So I understand, and people can tell me for years about fitness and mental health. It really goes hand in hand. So obviously this is why you're doing what you do.
It's a big part of it, yeah. I mean, I worked FIFO for many years, and the same thing when you're sort of in any job, but especially in something like that where you're away from your family for a long time. You're often doing 12-plus hour days plus travelling to and from site.
Yeah.
So at least with some training, whether it doesn't have to be heavy weights or a ridiculous cardio session, but something is that little hour that you've got for yourself.
My husband's FIFO and has been for quite a number of years now, but he's mechanical fitter, so he's on the tools, so he's physical anyway.
Does he need a job?
No, well, he's always open.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's what were you going to say, Mo?
Oh, no, I'll let you finish.
I was just going to say, he's FIFO, and his thing when he comes home, he rides motorbike as his release, and he also goes diving. That's his also release.
Diving and spearfishing.
Scuba, not necessarily just scuba diving, just photos and stuff like that. So that's his release. Everyone needs a release. What are you going to say, Mo?
Since you guys are mentioning FIFO, I'm sorry to be a bit out of topic, but
no, that's fine.
For my show, I plan to interview a friend of mine who's actually doing FIFO work, and he'll be discussing mental health in FIFO work. So
that'd be great.
If that interview comes, I recommend tune in. But back on topic.
I love that idea, Mo, because as I said, my husband's FIFO, and it's a hard life. It's a hard life, and not only is it a hard life for that person going to work, it's also very hard for the family that's left behind. So I personally would really like to talk to more people in the FIFO industry about that. Men find it difficult to talk about things like that, but it is getting better. There's a lot of facilities out there now for men to be just with men to talk about their mental health issues, which is great. But men still have a struggle. They just struggle with it.
Yeah, men are statistically a bit worse at opening up.
Yeah.
But you're right. It is improving, and even
it is.
FIFO, the FIFO
Can't stress
game
that
itself.
enough about male mental illness. We need to take it more seriously.
Yeah, for sure.
As a society.
For sure.
I think with the mental health first aid course, it's good to see that numbers of that in Australia are up around 1 million now, I think.
Wow, yeah, we do that here. We actually do the training from here.
The more people that do that,
well,
I
think I've always said that all year 12 students should do a mental health, a first aid course, along with a first aid Red Cross or course, whatever it is. It should just be a standard thing that everyone should do, part of their curriculum, don't you think? But and I only found out about it once I started at the radio. I didn't even know it existed. So I've done mine. Have you done mine?
Yeah, I did the mental health first aid course, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And like you, I didn't even know you could do mental health first aid until I learned that Tristram does it.
Yeah.
But yeah, fantastic. I recommend it to anybody. If you want to learn more about mental health, and if you want to know how to handle your family and friends going through mental health stuff, please do the mental health first aid.
Yeah, I think
really
everyone should do it. Because not only can you help you can help yourself as well with what you learn. Like you're learning, I learned a lot about myself in that course. It can be quite confronting, but I think it's definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. Now you've got an activity coming up for Black Dog on a Lead. Is there a walk coming up? Tell us about that.
They've done a walk in the past.
So what are they doing?
This one is it's a community mental health event. It's being held on the 22nd of October, and it's at the Treeby Community Centre.
Where's Treeby?
It's in Coburn.
Oh, that's just down the road. It's not far.
Yeah, I think it's $15 a ticket. So you can get tickets from blackdogonalead.com.au on their website.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, it's going to be a great day. There's lots of events. I'll be speaking. Matt Wilson will be speaking. So, but there's lots of kids events as well, face painting, and there'll be
that's
some
great.
food and all that sort of thing available. So, look, it's going to be a great day. Again, a lot of people have already reached out and showed their interest in coming down. Family, friends, colleagues. So
that's great.
There's about 300 seats. So they will sell out quick. There's a few that will sell out quick. So make sure you.
So get onto that. So Black Dog on a Lead, look up the events in there, and it's on their website. On the website. Yeah, no, that's really
definitely good for people to do them. And just a question, Paul. Whether you know or not, it doesn't matter, but I'll ask anyway. But how come the organisation is called Black Dog on a Lead? Because I think it's an interesting title. I was just wondering if you know why is it.
I want to hear what you're going to say.
Yeah, so the Black Dog is sort of a nickname given to those feelings of depression or anxiety that creep up on people.
Do you know where it came from?
I'm assuming. Well, I mean, I've seen there's a movie about the Black Dog as well, which is about a truck driver struggling with mental health. So again, it's probably your own perception as to exactly
the actual history of Black Dog. Was from Winston Churchill. He called it the Black Dog. He called his depression Black Dog. Because the Black Dog is actually, I don't know whether the Black Dog got a mascot, but Black Dog themselves has got a black dog that's a mascot, and it's called Winston because of Winston Churchill.
Right. Okay.
So it actually comes from Winston Churchill calling his depression the Black Dog. There you go. So there's a little bit of history to help. I was wondering how you were going to go.
I really like that.
Yeah. But
and then on a lead is obviously
holding that,
trying to harness it.
Yeah, harness it. I love that. That's great. I reckon that's a beautiful way of putting it. I've actually got a couple of Black Dogs at home. But the thing is that they're stuffed toys, right? And the Black Dogs, one's from the Black Dog Ride, one's from a suicide prevention one. And they're always cute. To me, Black Dog is the ugliest, nor dribbling. Like I've got one on my ankle. Oh, you probably can't see it, but I've actually got one on my ankle.
Like a big Doberman or something.
Yeah, the nastiest, horriblest thing. But these bloody soft toys are so cute.
I think black dogs are adorable. Like my best friend's mum, she owns a black dog. He's very big. He's half Labrador, half I don't know the other breed, but he's very big and he's absolutely gorgeous because he was they rescued him and he was from a bad environment. He does have some issues, but once you get to know his soft side, like he's a beautiful dog. So I disagree with what you're saying.
But we're talking about the black dog as in depression, right? So not necessarily a black dog because that would be discrimination. But we're talking about the black dog is depression.
So
it has to be the horriblest thing ever.
My apologies.
No, that's right.
It's just
the
way. Autism,
no, that's totally fine.
Totally
fine. So to me, it should be the ugliest, nastiest, red-eyed, gnarling, drizzling animal ever. That's how I see the black dog because I suffer from depression and anxiety. It's interesting to see how these cute little dogs.
But it is pretty ugly. Like I suffer from what I say melancholy, which is like a little bit similar to depression, but I rather say melancholy because I'm not diagnosed and I don't want to like title it just for good measure. But yeah, like the black dog metaphor for melancholy, it is really ugly, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, it is ugly. Absolutely, it is ugly. You've got 100 pieces of paper. Actually, a number of pieces of paper. Would you want to go through what you wanted to go through?
Well, I can skim over most.
No, you go for it. That's fine.
Look, I was just going to give a bit of a background about myself.
Yeah,
and sort of my story. So I grew up in Sydney actually. Went to high school, private school. So in the late 90s. Had every opportunity, great family, good friends. Like a lot of guys, parents actually separated when I was 15, which probably didn't help. Although you couldn't tell me that was going to cause any problems. You know what I mean? I was the oldest of 3 kids.
Yeah.
So no one really to sort of pull me into line once mum and dad had separated. And as a result, I kind of pushed away a lot of help and a lot of opportunities sort of in my late teens to the point where, it was nothing terrible, but lots of drugs and drinking a lot from a young age and things like that. And just not really applying myself to a lot of avenues which I could have.
That were offered to you, yeah.
And look, sort of.
So you made the wrong choices?
Yeah, all my sporting prowess sort of, as it does, if you don't use it, you sort of lose it. And that sort of fell by the wayside. And then this resulted in me basically drinking on New Year's Eve, got behind the wheel of a car, made the really bad decision to do that. And, without going into too much detail, I made a really bad decision that night.
Yeah.
And from that, unfortunately, a stranger isn't here today
after
that. So, look, I basically had to recover from my own injuries. Took the
That's
step.
physically, but you also the mental.
So, I mean, look, I tried to sort of push both sides away for a long time, recovered from my injuries, after sort of coming to realising the magnitude of what had happened. I tried to, make amends as best I could. I took the stand. I entered an early guilty plea. And basically I went and served a custodial sentence for this.
Okay.
Which is warranted. I would have wanted the same thing to have happened if it had been a family member of mine who had been dealt the same sort of blow. So, look, long story short, this was 20 years ago next year that it happened. And, it took me a good 5, 10, probably even 15 years to not so much try and forget about it, but suppress and move on with my life and think, right, to get to this point in my life where I said it's only really been the last 4 months where I've actually committed to taking the step to start to start better, educating people and trying to implement some of the strategies that I've used to move from that place 20 years ago and leading up to that to sort of where I am now. I should say that, when I woke up in hospital on the 1st of January 2005, so that basically the day after it, the night that it had happened, I was laying there in hospital bed and my mother was there next to me and my jaw was all wide shut. I cracked my jaws up, couldn't open my mouth, my stomach, 40 staples in my stomach.
Oh, God.
And I lay there and I sort of looked at Mum and I said, what did I hit? and she didn't answer me. And I said,
Oh, no.
I said, I hit another car, didn't I? I said, do you know who it is? Can we speak to them? Can I see them? Can I send them flowers? And she didn't answer. And she just sort of, everything on her face told me that it was it. Someone hadn't made it. And I said, they didn't make it, did they? And I said, after a sort of hour or so of coming to terms with the fact that someone else is never going to be here again because of your actions, and that I'm going to have to bear that for the rest of my life.
Absolutely.
I said to her, at some point, whether it's a year or 10 years or 50 years before I leave this world, I need to give back for that.
God,
I need to
beautiful.
try, and I can't change it. What's done is
done.
No. What I can do
that's a really good attitude.
is try and help others not make
and
the
you
same
you thought
mistake
that at that moment, just as you heard.
That was from that first day.
Wow.
I said that to her. And as I said, then getting back to where I am now, it's taken me, I suppose, for fear of it hampering my abilities to go on to be a successful person. And I said, these days I work in mining and construction. I head up a mechanical team, mechanical fitters, boilers, riggers. I'm quite heavily involved in the commercial side of things, and I do a lot of business development. So my boss has actually been great. He doesn't even know this story. So he will come to learn soon enough. But he's been very supportive in the events. He knows that he can see that I'm very heavily involved in mental health.
Yeah.
He's actually supporting and sponsoring me through these events.
I'm just getting to the FIFO thing. Do they support, how do they deal with mental health on site?
So, I mean, they've got most mining companies have EAPs.
Who uses them? My husband won't use it.
Yeah, well, that's right. People feel a little bit scared to use it, but that's why I was going to say as well. You were touching earlier on how things are changing. I've sort of been speaking to a lot of groups now. Like you've got your FIFO mental health group who specifically go out to site and teach mental health first aid. So that's a shout out to Lockie and Corey Gadzionis. That's their business. And then you've got Soa Palele. I don't know if you've ever heard of Soa. He's an ex-UFC fighter.
I would love
Perth.
to. Yeah.
And he goes out to site. He does a lot of work with McMahon called the Strong Minds.
Okay.
And then there's a young girl I met called Brooke McIntosh. She's currently running from Karratha to Perth, doing 1,600 kilometres in a month.
Really?
She's on day 4 or day 5.
I would love to hear from these people. I
can set you up with these guys if you want to have a chat to them.
Yeah.
So just these last 4 months, I've really turned that switch and said, right, it's time for me to.
Why now?
I guess why not? This is the time.
Okay.
I've noticed, as I said, there's been a big shift in the last just couple of years. And obviously me being in mining myself for about 8 years, there wasn't a lot of that support then. It was kind of like that's gonna impact productivity. I mean, we just need to get the job done. There is a shift now, and you can see that's sort of happening from all these advocates that are speaking out, and there is a general shift in the community and within the companies as well. They're noticing that it's not just a physical problem. People are having mental issues, especially with all the stuff from COVID and what's been happening these last couple of years, and distancing from families and financial struggles and everything. So, look, it definitely now is the time for anyone who is passionate about mental health and understands that it plays such an integral role to a person succeeding as a whole.
Absolutely.
They have to have that working for them, otherwise nothing else works.
I was just a little concerned with the fact that these big mining companies are providing courses because they feel like they have to, or they feel like it's part of their policy, or it's part of something that they've been told to do. Are they really dedicated to? Because
again, I know what you're getting at. I can't speak for them.
No, of course not.
We're all different, but I suppose it comes down to them as well, and having the right people within their business. So I have noticed, a lot of them have people and culture professionals now. So it's not just a HSE advisor anymore. It's someone who actually is invested into the people they've got within the business. And then they're bringing people such as myself or these SOAs or the FIFO guys into their business to educate their guys and make sure that before they go into a shutdown or go into a major outage, they've got a bit of backing and a bit of a support network behind them, and make sure things are okay before you just jump in.
I think that needs to happen more, because I'm just going by where my husband's working. Yes, they do provide mental health courses for a couple of days. He's just done a major shut, and his mental health is not good right now, but he won't do the EA thing. And I think it has a lot to do with your crew that you're working with as well, they're very supportive, don't get me wrong. But I just think there's more that needs to be done. I don't know what, but there's more. And you saying that people going in like yourselves and talking about it, is there any way that we can get that into other companies? Do you just do one company? We don't need to talk about names or anything like that.
I haven't actually done any companies yet.
Oh, right.
However, that's how this is all. Really, it's only been the last 4 months where I've taken some steps. So at the moment, I've put together a bit of a presentation. It's about 80-90% of the way there.
Good.
I'm actually training with a keynote speaker trainer, Kate Rains-Goldie.
Right.
And so I thought, I could just I've met a lot of other people that basically just got pushed into the limelight and started talking, which also works as well. At the end of the day, when it's real and it's raw and you've got a story to tell, people want to hear it.
I agree.
So there was a combination of, should I just do that, or I was lucky and I was afforded this support to basically do this, get this presentation ready. It's just about ready. And what is really great is that obviously with what I've been doing, as you said, you see on my Facebook and my social pages, is I'm already preparing for that stage.
Correct.
Which is just about to start. So I've already had a lot of interest from people, business managers and that sort of that can see and are going to basically try and get me involved.
That's so good. That's so good.
It's excellent to see that kind of people reaching out.
Absolutely. It's absolutely necessary because I'm seeing currently there's a lot of people doing that type of thing in schools, which is brilliant. They're talking about mental health from a younger point of view, which I think is absolutely fantastic. But let's not forget, us oldies need that as well. We need support and assistance.
We need support on all levels.
100% we need it on all levels. And I know it's got to start somewhere, but just don't forget about FIFO is a hard life. It's a really hard life. And as I said, it's not only for the person out there, for the families as well. It's not easy. So, and unfortunately, there's been a lot of suicides in mining due to that fact.
Yeah, even my friend that I talked about who was going to interview, who I'm planning to interview in my show, he mentioned that people that work in his mining work unalived themselves too, and it's pretty sad.
Exactly. There's a lot of it happening, and it's still happening, and we really need to do something more about that. And it is happening. It's getting in there. As you say, you're doing that sort of thing, and there are companies going out, but it's just I'm worried for my husband. He's dealing with a lot of things, and I think the extra stress of he's a supervisor, so the extra stress of the work is huge, and being away from home, and it's a totally different environment out there. It's all I don't know because I've never been out there myself and never been in a FIFO situation, but I'm assuming is it very male orientated, or is it changing a lot?
It's changing a lot.
Okay.
So, a lot of these major ones have all companies, I think, have been encouraged to try and go to more of a 50-50 split.
Yeah, good.
And the same with Indigenous involvement as well. So
that's very much so. Yeah, that's very much so.
Those sort of numbers too.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, it's.
So are you gonna start up a little business or a side thing where you're going to go out to companies and do this? Is that where you want to go? Where do you want to be?
So basically, for me, keynote speaking will be one of it. There's quite a few different things I'm looking at doing. But as you were saying, it kind of needs to work on all levels. So you worry about your husband, but, whether it's the guys on the floor, whether it's the supervision that's looking after those guys, whether it's the corporate guys that are actually putting everybody out on site.
Yep.
Pretty much everybody struggles at some point.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So my line of sort of talking to people and mentoring and strategizing can work on all levels. I even need to go back, or I'm looking to go back to my old high school, and then potentially, again, that'll be a sort of a different talk and a different session or different
sure.
So high schools and also even into prisons as well. That'll be my
that would
my
be
way of giving back,
fantastic. That would be fantastic.
For what I did and sort of showing guys that, hey, you can stuff up and you can still
we
turn
all do.
things around.
It's natural.
It's not over. Everybody stuffs up.
Yeah.
A lot of people just don't own it. So there's a lot of power, I think, in ownership and accountability.
It is,
and once you realise that, hey, I stuffed up just like everybody else did.
Which you did at that moment.
You couldn't have
straight
had much
away.
of a bigger stuff. You could not have had much of a bigger stuff up than that and live to tell about it.
Wow.
So
that's courageous
what better way than to own it? Because we preach to people, you preach to your kids, you preach to people that you work with, hey, own your problems, don't hide them.
That's it.
So own it and then learn from it and teach others not to make the same
brilliant.
mistakes.
I love that.
Yeah, since Mish mentioned your you being courageous for talking about your story, I want to say too that what that what you've been saying and what you've been talking about, like, it's absolutely brave of you coming on here to talk about the story and what happened and whatnot. And I just want to say that I cannot imagine what it feels like to have taken a life, whether by accident or incident. Like, it's not a very nice feeling. Like, I've heard a story from a teacher about her friend accidentally taking a life or something. Like, I think she accidentally ran over someone in a car, and apparently it's been damaged her ever since. And yeah, it's horrible. And I'm also so glad that you got to work things out, know how to deal with the cope, and you're like doing whatever you're doing now and to help people out, because especially with people that go through a lot of trauma, whether it's what happened with you and stuff like that, and not many people will like survive. Like, it doesn't matter whether they're alive or dead. Like that, like a lot of people wouldn't be able to.
They struggle with it, don't they? Yeah.
Thanks, I agree with what you're saying there is exactly right. Like I feel that, you know, something if something like that has happened, there's no better way than to use that as a as a platform to talk to people, to teach people, to have those conversations.
And it could have gone totally the opposite.
So many people might go, geez, that nearly happened to me, but I'd never tell anyone about it.
Wow.
Or you know, if they think about all the times that they drove or they did something stupid. So look, basically one of the large things that I'm going to implement is, so you talk about mind sights. And we talk about everybody knowing what a take 5 is. So basically I've come up with a take 4.
Okay,
so,
tell us.
So the take 4, it's basically asking yourself or just having a bit of a check-in with yourself before you jump in and do something stupid, before you jump behind the wheel, before you start that fight or something that you could regret for the rest of your life. You know? So will my family, friends and colleagues support this?
Good question. Yeah.
Is this improving my mental or physical health? Is this a good use of my time and effort, or am I just wasting time? And is this something that I'll look back on and be proud of?
Wow, that's very good.
Well, I don't think what you're doing is a waste of time, not at all.
Definitely not. They're awesome questions, though.
I think it's not only good for everyone else, but good for you too, in a way to like sort of heal yourself and reflect. Use your own story to reflect and like help other people out.
Definitely.
So I'm sorry, my wordings are pretty poor because
no, you're fine.
Like I said, I'm autistic, so sometimes
no, you're doing okay, right?
The way I come out with things, it's
okay, mate. You're doing fine.
Poor.
You're doing fine. You're doing really good. I love the green and the black. It goes so well. What else have we got on there?
I wish I knew all this off by heart, but as I said, I'm
still
learning
there.
with you,
you're still
so
going.
I appreciate the chance.
I'm with you. Like I mentioned, I'm starting my own show next week, and I wish I could do stuff off by heart, but I've actually got a script ready.
It'll get there. It'll get there.
I'm also working the 10th time and the 20th and 30th time you've done it.
And I'm also already prepared the script for the second episode.
It'll get easy, I promise. It'll get easy. But you know what? You'll stuff up like we all do. And that's fine.
And I've been stuffed every
fine.
show I've made appearances in so far. I've stuffed up and started, but you know what?
It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter.
Get back up, start again.
Yeah. And it makes you, I think when you do something like that, it gives our listeners a more personal approach. We're human. We do make mistakes. We're not someone who's reading a script off a piece of paper. This is us. This is our stories. This is who we are. And that's totally fine. Totally fine. And I make mistakes all the time. And that's fine.
That's how we learn.
Exactly.
We learn from mistakes.
Anyway, what have you got on there?
So I guess, again, following on from take 4.
Yes.
So, it basically gives you a purpose and a reason.
100%. You absolutely need a purpose.
To get on, to stay on the path, to be the best version of themselves.
Yep.
I always found locking in events for myself always helped.
Me too.
By having something to look forward to, like New Zealand or whatever it might be, you lock something in.
Even for me, I have to have something for tomorrow.
Yep.
As simple as going, I have to have a plan. I have to have something organised for tomorrow morning, whether it be work or I have to have something. Otherwise, I won't get out of bed. Yep. I have to have that motivation.
You've made that commitment to yourself.
I've made a commitment, yeah. Correct. And it's as simple as that. So it doesn't have to be a massive thing like, going on holiday or whatever it might be. It's just little steps.
And I get what you mean, Mish, because I've been a long-term unemployed for a long time, and I'm at this stage. I'm learning how to like make more effort into looking for jobs. So I've been cold calling and whatnot, but majority of the time I've just been home staring into space, and I felt like drained and a bit sort of
motivation.
messy. And when I decided to like volunteer like permanently after I finished work for the Dole here, along with another place, I'm volunteering, and it's made me feel better. And now that I've got everything planned and in motion, like I can get out of bed, I can feel energetic, and I've been a bit.
You have a purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the big word. Is purpose and a reason.
And I've been more happy. Like usually I go very happy, and then I get pretty like melancholic and sad. But now I've learned to become more happy and more motivated.
You've got somewhere safe to go. You know you're going to be appreciated.
And I'm starting a bit of a weight loss journey too, because I'm a bit of a chubby boy. But
good for you. There you go. As we said before, as Paul was saying, fitness.
So doing this diet and doing some form of exercise, it's also gotten me good. And and it's another plan that I've got, and it's keeping me motivated. So I get what you mean, Mish, when you say that.
It's a purpose. You have your purpose, and that's very, very important, is to have a purpose in life. And this is your purpose, which is fantastic. What else have we got? Outcomes.
So, just look, some basic outcomes from this will be, taking ownership and accountability for your actions.
Number one.
Learning resilience, less struggle in your own day-to-day life. Compassion and empathy for others is a big one. I think if everyone just had a bit more compassion and empathy.
Do you think that do you think it's part of your DNA? You don't learn it, do you? You don't learn empathy.
It kind of comes with, your DNA, or it's from a very early age that those things are.
Because I'm an extremely empathetic. Empathetic doesn't sound right. Empathic. Yeah. Is that it? Empathetic makes it sound pathetic. You do come across people that are very cold and they don't have that empathy at all. So I was just wondering whether it's something that you're born with or whether you do learn it.
Yeah.
I think maybe you do learn it from, as you say, from a young age.
I think so, and I think you're never too old to learn it either.
No, true,
you can
100%.
unlearn behaviors and learn behaviors. It's hard.
And my theory is I think it depends on what environment you were raised in, what you get exposed to in your life, whether it be a friend, a family, or hell, even something you've seen on TV or a song that you listen to. I think it just depends on the environment around you. Like sometimes that environment can train you to be empathetic or less empathetic. Like I think it's just it depends on the surroundings that you have.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough too. So that is very important. There definitely needs to be more empathy in life. And you got to be.
Can't stress that enough.
You've got to understand. I really want people to know that one word, that one negative word that you may say to somebody, or that negative comment you put on Facebook, or that negative whatever you do to that one person that you probably don't even know, that word or that emotion or that whatever you put on there could be the last thing they see. It's that easy, So you've got to be so careful on how you approach people, and just empathy is huge.
Yeah, I just wish a lot of people would learn that, and I actually got to I'm in the process of learning myself.
Yeah, and we all do, and you know what? I'm still learning at 55, so it is a process. But empathy is huge. What else have you got on there?
Look, I mean that's all I was really going to go over today, but also. My little cousin, actually, she's
you told me this.
Port Lincoln, Jackie. So I don't know if she's listening in. She's a radio host for Magic 89.9.
Awesome. Good job.
She's listening in. I'm sure she'd be good if you guys.
We could link up together. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But look, and obviously the big thing was to promote this event on the 22nd of October and try and get as many people. It's only there at Coburn, so lots.
I will post it on my page. Yeah. So it's Black Dog on a Lead. Please look it up. It will be on the website. It's 22nd of October at Treeby. I've never heard of that suburb before.
Neither had I, but Treeby Community Centre, it's part of Coburn. I think it's like Success.
Oh, that's just up the road. It's 20 minutes from here, which is great.
It's $15 a ticket, runs from 10 till 4. It'll be a really good day. And it said there'll be lots of speakers there and just lots of good community events. They're doing Lego Connect as well.
Oh, cool.
So,
a lot of support, a lot of mental health awareness support, and you might find that you love it so much, or you've enjoyed it so much that this is maybe your path that you want to go down in helping out Black Dog on a Lead, because volunteering, as you were saying, Mo, really makes you feel rewarded.
Yeah,
I think is the word. Giving back. Giving back.
It's
and
once you start giving back, you just it's abundant.
It's I've never done anything like this. Like I started in radio in September last year, and it's the first time I've ever done any volunteer work. I really wish I'd have done it years and years before that, because I feel I have a purpose. This is my purpose, is to be here and talk about mental health and getting the awareness out there. And I've always had that purpose, but I didn't know how to voice it. And the radio is my way of doing it. It's just my platform, which I'm so lucky to do that. I'm happy that I've got that platform. But yeah, again, it's my purpose. But yeah, giving back feels amazing.
It really does.
Yeah, it really, really does. So it's just awesome. So I'm really glad that you could come in today. We've probably gone off the track a lot, and I apologise for that. But we
probably got more to do with me too, because sometimes I would like.
No, that's all right. As I said, it's just chit chat.
If there's anything you needed to say, and I disrupted it, I apologise. I'm in the learning process, and I want to train myself before I start next Saturday.
Good. So good. But coming here to IPL, it's all casual. It's just talking over a table between friends. If you wanted to talk line by line, people are just not going to listen to it from this point of view, from this platform. Was there anything absolutely in particular that you wanted to say today that we've missed?
Not really. Just, thanks to for Black Dog on a Lead, their team, for basically bringing me in and getting me involved with them. I guess thanks to my own family, Tash and my kids, and my own brother and sister and mum and dad.
Yep.
So I think Mum's actually flying over for this 22nd of October event, which is going to be exciting. She obviously was quite a stalwart through that period in my life 20 years ago. Your mum's your mum, and they're always there for you. But I was very lucky to have a good one.
Yeah.
To still have a good one.
Yeah.
And so, look, I guess a message would be, there's no time like the present. If you feel that there's something that you need to do and a longing to do, then
do it.
Strike while the iron's hot.
Absolutely, do it.
And right now, you really can make a difference in one person or 1,000 people.
Doesn't matter if that's one person out of a million. That's all it needs to be.
Yeah.
Absolutely all it needs to be. So I really appreciate you coming in, and I would like to be more involved with Black Dog on a Lead. So I will contact Matt and see what we can organise. But
and I would absolutely love to make an appearance on an event too, like just listen to what you guys have to say. I don't want to say you people because it sounds condescending, but what everyone has to say.
Well, 22nd of October. Yeah. There you go.
Get you guys down for that.
Yeah, that would be awesome. So, but I really appreciate you coming in. I know that you were nervous about coming in, and this is a new thing for you. So, good for you.
It is, yeah.
Good for you.
Thanks for having me. It's, thank you.
High five from me too.
Good for you.
Like I said, you are absolutely brave for coming here today and sharing your experience and telling us what this organisation is doing. So I want to thank you as well for coming here and talking about your story, and thank you for your time with me and bearing with me since I was only a last minute addition to this show. So thank you for that.
You've done good, Mo. You've done good. Well. You did really good. You'll be fine. So you're heading off to pick up your daughter?
I'll get my daughter the Savo, which is great. So,
and it's Friday. What do you got planned for the weekend? Training.
Yeah. So the training is ramping up. As I said, I always sort of keep a relatively decent level of fitness, anyway, because it helps with every part of my life. But so this with only sort of 24 weeks till this big event,
it's
really
nothing.
Need to start getting serious about the training side of things.
Absolutely.
Juggling that with full-time job, with a young family,
it's not easy.
It is, but
it's worth it. It's a purpose.
It's got a purpose, and if you if you ensure that you put those steps in place, you've got a good support network in place.
That's the thing. Yeah.
It's doable.
Brilliant. Absolutely love it. And good luck for everything you're doing. Keep in contact with me if you want to come back at any time. You've got my details now, and we'll keep in contact. Keep in touch.
Let's maybe early next year or something.
Yeah.
6 months. And
that'd be great.
And I've done a few more talks as well. So not as I'm a little bit more on. No,
you're fine. As I said, it's just relaxed in here, so it doesn't matter. That's you really do good. You do good.
Thank you.
So we're going to go into a song, and I've picked out songs today that have got the word beautiful in it because I needed that today. So this is going to be Beautiful Girl by In Excess. Thank you again.
And before you play the song, I'm gonna be heading off because I'm usually finished at around this time during volunteer hours
thanks
anyway.
For joining
so
us.
I just want to say thank you for listening, and I also want to thank my dad and my sister for listening because I got them to listen as well. So
you paid them $50.
So I just want to say I love you both, and also to tune in to the Mo Show, which starts next Saturday night, and it's going to be every Saturday night. So 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Be there.
And that's IPL Radio. Excellent.